We finally know where Russell Westbrook will sign this summer. It's pretty obvious he's going to reunite with Kevin Durant. According to Stephen A. Smith, he made it clear that Russ should consider playing in Houston again, especially after Kevin Durant just got traded there. Since Dillon Brooks is gone, how about going after Russell Westbrook? The man is still a warrior, ain't backing down from anyone. Can't underestimate his toughness and dependability. Not saying it's gonna happen, but wouldn't mind seeing this for Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets at all. To heck with all the past nonsense, let's all move forward. Who remembers when Russell Westbrook was playing with the Rockets? It was a small ball era. The reason why the Rockets brought in Russell Westbrook in the first place was his tenacity and his playmaking. And Stephen A. Smith does have a point. They just got rid of Dillon Brooks, who was a big part of their defensive culture. And with Russell Westbrook's hustle and ferocious style of play, he will be perfect to replace Dillon Brooks, especially in rejuvenating that defensive culture in Houston. Russ just opted out of his $3.5 million contract with the Denver Nuggets because he believes that he could get a little bit more. And with the Rockets still having some cap space to sign players to the mid-level exception and some other free agents, it might be worth it on giving Russell Westbrook a 1+1 year to see if the Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant experiment could work. The Rockets signing Russ would be a low-risk, high-reward kind of deal. But what are some other great destinations for Russell Westbrook if the Houston Rockets situation doesn't come through? The Minnesota Timberwolves have become a quiet, sneaky team keeping an eye on Russell Westbrook simply because they want a new star point guard to play with Anthony Edwards. Let's be honest, Mike Conley is an amazing guard throughout his entire career, but he's no longer that guard that the Timberwolves need to lead them further than the conference finals. I believe Russell Westbrook would be an upgrade over Mike Conley and even at a cheaper price. Putting both Russ and Ant on the floor together would be an opponent's worst nightmare because of their energy. Anthony Edwards would still be the star player of the Wolves and Russ would just fit in to support him. The fit just makes sense. Russ could also return to OKC as well and finish his career off where it all started. OKC just won the championship and they're arguably the best team in the NBA. They're at the top of the mountain right now and every team is hunting them. So if Russ wants to win a championship, yes, go to OKC, a team that has a well-constructed roster. You wouldn't have to do much on the team and just contribute in a star role off the bench. It will be a nostalgia kind of move for OKC fans to see this happen, but I'll say it's unlikely as the Thunder probably don't want to risk their young guards with Russell Westbrook on the roster. My favorite scenario for Russ is simply staying with Nikola Jokic on the Denver Nuggets. I believe this is the best scenario for Russ. He opted out of his contract because the Nuggets have some money to give him a little bit more than that 3.5 in 2026. I would love to see Russ play with KD in Houston, but playing with Jokic again, it just makes the most sense as we've seen it be successful, and if the Nuggets advance their roster, keeping Russ would help, especially with the overall team's culture. But the season just ended and we're keeping an eye on a very important big man in the East that teams are heavily targeting now. We want to thank SeatGeek for sponsoring Easy Buckets, our channel. SeatGeek is the best ticket app on the market with nearly 30 million downloads and over 70,000+ events to buy tickets for. If you want to go to an NBA game, a sports game, a concert, any kind of event, get your cheap tickets on SeatGeek today. On checkout, be sure to use my discount promo code EasyBuckets with an S at the end to get an extra $20 off your first purchase. Your cheap tickets on SeatGeek just became cheaper. Everybody in the NBA wants a piece of Miles Turner, one of the best bigs in free agency right now, especially because he can shoot and he can defend. We just saw how good Miles Turner was with the Indiana Pacers. They made it all the way to Game 7 of the NBA Finals, somewhere where no one thought the Pacers would go. And Miles Turner was a big part of their success this season. He's arguably one of the best floor spacer bigs in the league. He shoots a career at 36.2% behind a three-point line. That is unheard of. And he also averages 2 blocks a game. Talk about the perfect center to have on your team in this era of basketball. Tyrese Halliburton just got injured as well, and he's not going to play next season at all, which means the Pacers are not going to be competitive next year, and maybe Miles Turner has interest on going to another team to compete again in the playoffs because the Pacers are a write-off after an amazing season. The Los Angeles Lakers have been rumored to have interest in Miles Turner in the past, and now is the best time ever to pursue him with everything that they have. We know the Lakers lost in the first round because they didn't have a big. Rudy Gobert literally dominated the Lakers in the paint. And that's why this offseason the Lakers have to bring in a big like Miles Turner because they really want to push all the way with Luka and LeBron on the roster. Miles brings in that pick and pop persona with Luka and also that interior defense that the Lakers have lacked ever since trading away Anthony Davis. But the Warriors also want Miles Turner as well because they're in the same boat as the Lakers. They are lacking a true center at size. And Miles Turner would just fit in the Warriors' three-point play style with Steph Curry. The Warriors would have to trade away Jonathan Kuminga on a sign and trade and vice versa, as Miles Turner would have to be in a sign and trade deal from the Pacers, but the Warriors for sure would be a good fit for Miles. Naz Reid from the Timberwolves is the best big from the West that teams are targeting. He currently holds a player option and we predict that Naz is going to opt out of it because he's getting a lot of interest around the league. We know the Pistons are keeping an eye on Naz Reid. I've made a video and talked about this already because Cade Cunningham needs a floor spacing big to elevate their team to the next level. But the San Antonio Spurs are also keeping an eye on Naz Reid as well because they want another big to play with Victor Wembanyama that can score from anywhere on the court. Naz Reid would improve their front court tremendously. Another popular free agent is Ty Jerome from the Cleveland Cavaliers, who was a big part of why the Cavaliers were so successful in the regular season last year. The Cavaliers need to make several difficult decisions this summer. Ty Jerome was an integral part of the team's regular season success. Unfortunately, the group underperformed in the postseason. And that's where the Sacramento Kings come in. They really want Ty Jerome, especially after trading away De'Aaron Fox. They need a guard that can score, and that's where Ty comes in. Malik Beasley is also a very popular free agent this summer because he's one of the best shooters in the NBA, and many teams are going to try and snag him if of course the Pistons don't retain him. These were his numbers last year: 16.3 points off the bench, shooting 41.6% from the three-point line. He's one of the best shooters in the league, and he's proven to the NBA that he deserves a large contract. The Pistons are going to offer Malik, and this is the only thing they can offer him, a $14.1 million deal. But if he believes there's another team that can offer him more, I'm sure he's going to take it and leave Detroit. Free agency is going to be exciting this summer. So those were my predictions on Russell Westbrook and the other free agents. But I want to know your thoughts. Where do you think these free agents will land? Let's get a chat going in the comments below. But I believe that the Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets trade could have been a huge mistake for the Rockets. And we just made a video talking about why I believe it was a risky move for them to trade away Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green and their picks. Check it out. But other than that, take it easy. God bless. See y'all next time on Easy Buckets. Peace.